Remember social studies? That class in school that always felt like, well, a mix of history, some maps, maybe a little bit about the government. For a lot of us, it was always kind of fuzzy, right? Well, today, we're going to clear up that fog. We're going to demystify social studies and really get to the powerful, and I mean powerful mission behind what might just be the most misunderstood subject you ever took. All right, let's just jump right in with a question for you. Think back all the way through your school years. What do you think was the single most important subject you ever studied? Was it math? Science maybe? English? Just get an answer in your head, because I'm about to make a case for a contender that you might not expect.
See, the thing is, the answer isn't really a subject at all. It's a mission. The whole point of social studies was never about just memorizing dates or state capitals. Nope. It's about something way, way bigger. It's about creating citizens who can actually go out and build a better society.
And here it is. This is the absolute heart of it all. The main purpose is to help young people make informed and reasoned decisions for the public good. It's not about passively soaking up facts. It's training for being an active, thoughtful citizen. That's the why behind the whole thing. Okay, so with that big mission in mind, let's finally pin this thing down. What is social studies officially? To get the real picture, it actually helps to see how the experts have tried to define it over the years. So, if we go back to 1950, a guy named Ender Wesley put it this way. He said it's basically taking these huge, complex fields like sociology, anthropology, economics, the social sciences, and then carefully picking out the important parts and adapting them so they actually make sense in a classroom. Then, just about a decade later, you can see the idea evolving. Hannah and Lee started focusing on the study of human relationships. And here's where that mission gets super sharp. It's not just about adapting information anymore. Now, the goal is explicitly to prepare students to be informed and, this is the key word, participatory citizens. And that brings us to the modern definition, the one from the big authority on this, the National Council for the Social Studies. And they use two really crucial phrases here, integrated study and civic competence. This is all about weaving different subjects together to build the skills you actually need to function as an effective person in the world. So, let's boil all that down. Here's our working definition. Social studies is the integrated study of a bunch of different fields, simplified for schools with one primary goal: creating citizens who are informed, active, and responsible. That's it. That's the whole idea in a nutshell.
But what about that phrase, integrated study? What does that actually look like? What are all these different fields that get tossed into the social studies pot? All right, let's pop the hood and see what's inside.
Okay, so you've got the ones you'd expect, right? History and geography are the big ones. But where it gets really powerful is in what else it pulls in. It brings in sociology, so we can understand how groups work. It brings in economics, so we can see how people make choices. It even pulls from psychology, because honestly, how can you understand society if you don't understand how people think? And this is exactly why that word integrated is so critical. Social studies isn't just a random list of classes. It's about blending them. Think about it. You can't really understand a big historical event without knowing the geography of the place, the economic pressures on the people, and the politics of the time, right? They're all interconnected pieces of this one giant puzzle we call the human experience. Now this brings us to probably the single biggest point of confusion, and we are going to clear this up once and for all. What is the actual difference between social studies and the social sciences? They sound almost the same, but trust me, they are built for completely different jobs. Okay, let's break this down. The social sciences, that's what you study at a university. It's advanced academic stuff, focused on research, on creating new knowledge. You can think of them as the lab scientists. Social studies, on the other hand, is the subject you take in school. It takes all that complex research and makes it practical and useful for everyday people. It's like the field guide that makes the scientist work usable for the rest of us. One creates knowledge, the other applies it. Big difference.
So what? What's the actual real-world payoff here? We've defined it, we've distinguished it from its university-level cousin, but why should any of us actually care? Well, let's look at the real, tangible benefits this is supposed to give every single one of us.
When it's done right, a good social studies education delivers 5 absolutely core skills. First, it builds civic competence, so you can understand the systems you live in. From there, it develops critical thinking. That's the skill of looking at a news article or a post and asking, wait a second, is this legit? Then it builds cultural awareness, helping you understand people with different backgrounds. It gives you economic and social literacy to make better decisions in your own life. And finally, it ties it all together to help you become an effective global citizen in a world that is more connected than ever.
So, let's bring this all home. It's pretty clear that social studies isn't just another box to check off on a report card. It's meant to be a vital, living function for any healthy, democratic society.
Because when you strip away all the definitions and the subjects, social studies was never really about knowing who signed a document in 1776 or where the Nile River is. It's always been about something so much bigger, the ongoing, never-ending project of building thoughtful, capable, and engaged citizens. And that kind of leaves us with one last thought, doesn't it? In our world today, a world filled with misinformation and huge global challenges, the ability to make informed, reasoned decisions for the public good, well, that's not just a nice skill to have. It's pretty essential for our survival. So you have to ask, isn't that mission more important right now than it has ever been?